ourselves together, making
Hope you
sure
guys are
everything's
good.
working nicely. It seems to be thinking about it. Not too sure what's taking so long.
What's that? Hold on.
The Instagram. But Facebook, YouTube, hey, how are you?
Howdy.
Good to see you guys. It's been a good week. It's been a long week. It's been a positive week. We've got a short run up to Christmas, and we've got some deep stuff that we're talking about today. We've got some exciting news for next week and what we're going to be doing, and it's all good, really. Can't complain. I was going to say it's all good in the hood, but we're not quite in the hood, so it's kind of just all good. It's really strange. We feel so bad because what we use doesn't allow us to see what Facebook are saying. It doesn't allow us to see what YouTube are saying real time. So hey guys, it's lovely to see you. Hey Fifi.
Hey
Good
guys.
to see you on here. Lovely
What's
to
going
have
on,
you guys joining us. We are going to be talking about something quite sensitive today. So we're going to take the time. We're not really going to rush through it. We really want to take the time to answer any questions, deal with any comments. We have had some comments over the week with people just talking to us about the topics that we've been covering with divorce is not an option, and just how things have been for other people. So we are very careful to make sure that we don't rush through these topics to be like, yeah, blah 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 blah, this XYZ, because these are life-changing things that people are experiencing, and we are careful, oh so careful, to make sure that we take the time to really support people, to really help them process what's going on and to deal with it, really. So with that said, we're just going to check our technicals, make sure that we are all good with regards to Facebook, making sure we're all good with regards to YouTube. Hey Jennifer, good to see you on here. Making sure that we are all live, everything's coming through very well. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us okay, if the sound is okay, you don't hear any repeats or anything like that. We really want to make sure that it's at its best. And if you are on YouTube, give us a quick shout, let us know that all is well, and then we will get started. We'll kick off for today.
Amazing.
Cool.
Hope everybody is doing good. Run up to Christmas.
The run up to Christmas.
Jeez.
It's upon us. 10 days away.
It is.
10 days away.
That is crazy. That is crazy. All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Just a few more tweaks just to make sure we are good. Nice one. I think I'll probably do it whilst we're live. But guys,
lovely.
Again, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like 10 days to the Christmas. To
2020.
Christmas Day 2020. What a year we have had.
Year.
I can't believe it's the end of the year. Makes no sense.
It's been an interesting one. It's been the kind of
it has been
year that there's so many highlights that you're never going to have a year like this where you've been able to say, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened.
100%.
From the very beginning, from the minute we were in January and Kobe Bryant passed away, it was just like,
Listen,
we never saw that coming, and then it just continued. So
trust me.
Yeah, significant things almost every single month were taking place.
Literally.
So
yeah, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you for joining us. For those of you that are joining us for the first time and you don't know who these beautiful people are on your screen, my name is Ulrich.
And I'm Siobhan.
And we are the Cokers. This platform is Two Love Collective, where we talk about all things relationships. So that's marriage, singles, divorce, siblings, whatever relationship you have.
Yeah.
At some point, we have covered it in some way.
Yes.
But you've tuned in today, and we have been dealing with the topic: divorce is not an option.
It's not an option.
And it's actually a question as
Yeah.
well as a statement.
Yeah.
Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to challenge the status quo, to kind of understand, is this something that we should entertain?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We obviously know that there's some circumstances that, we can't control.
Yeah.
And so sometimes divorce is an option. But we're trying to challenge people, particularly people who may not be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because we found that when we were, in our dating, one of the things that, we challenged each other about was to kind of learn things to prevent us from really
Having
ever
to
go through. And we're
Yeah.
going to be talking a bit about that in more detail
Today.
tonight.
Yeah.
About the preparation that is so crucial before you get to the next level of where you are going. And that's in anything really, but more specifically relationships.
Yes.
So guys, this is part 6. For those of you that have been following us over the past 6 weeks, man, you can catch anything that you've missed on our YouTube channel.
That's right.
We've literally been streaming everything live.
Yeah.
So feel free to go back and catch up and learn and listen and debate and disagree and agree.
Yeah.
Because we love all of it. Because conversation is necessary for us to get to the next level in our thinking and our understanding about the things around us. So yes, we are going to kick off.
Yes.
Today.
So
we've got a few bits to talk about.
Now, this one here that we're going to talk about, it is, I don't know anybody who doesn't have a touchy subject in their relationship and in their marriage.
Yeah.
There are touchy subjects throughout different relationships, but this one here, no matter how you approach it, is always going to feel like you have to walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
And we're looking at insecurity and suspicion.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're looking at this is a lot of the times before we even get into saying, okay, well, I want a divorce or this, that, and the other, it started from somewhere. There were seeds that were sown, there were things that were planted in the mind.
Yeah.
And it's perception and it's insecurity and it's anxiety and it's a whole load of different things wrapped in together.
Yeah.
But what we want to tackle is, okay, so this is where you're at. How can we help? What can we do to support? How can we get people to actually open up and address some of the things that have been really heavy? I think there's nothing worse than you walk around with a cloud on your head thinking everything is one way and you kind of see it through a tinted glass.
Yeah.
And it's marred, it's skewed information, and that can be often what happens when you are feeling insecure about things. Now, if I don't want to try and pretend that we don't all have insecurities. Unfortunately, we live in a world that having an insecurity is norm, it's common practice, but it's what you do. So you identify, I may have an insecurity about my looks, about my sound, about my appearance, about my confidence, about my presence in a room. The people have insecurities about a whole heap of things. You can have an insecurity about the size of your hand. Like people have insecurities that you may never have ever come across, and yet at the same time those insecurities make them make certain choices.
Yes.
The governing factor is, if you recognize that you have certain insecurities, how that now plays out in your relationship, how that now plays out with your interaction with others is now the primary thing. So for example, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and they start on a clean slate. Automatically, even though they're starting on a clean slate, it's not quite a clean slate.
Yeah.
Because boy comes with whatever he's experienced for the past 15 years, girl comes with whatever she's experienced for the past 15 years, and automatically they come with a level of baggage, they come with a level of understanding, and they come with a level of misunderstanding. And what you're actually expecting each other to do is accept that this is where I am, but help me to change, but don't force me to change. It's a thin line.
It's a very thin line.
It's a thin line. It's
very
like,
thin line.
Okay, you are this way because of what you've experienced. I need to respect that. I can't let you dwell in that. I need to support you in change. But at the same time, I can't force you to change because it's a process, and God is
and that's
taking
part
us.
of you.
Exactly.
And you've been living in that skin for like 15, 20,
exactly
25, 30.
However many years
Years.
you existed. And then on top of that, it's God now saying to you,
Yeah.
I will take you through this process, but there are different milestones.
Yes.
It's like when you learn to walk, you don't just walk straight away. You have to stub your toe, you have to fall over, you have to learn how to get back up, you have to pull it. Like, there are so many active parts in learning to walk.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same as when you're in a relationship. And never forget, when Ulrich and I first started our relationship, I felt like God would continually use him as a mirror.
Jeez.
And it would grate on me, because I'd be like, God, why is he exposing all of these things that's in me? Because we would just sit down to eat, or we would go somewhere to walk, or something would happen, and it's like he would automatically become this mirror to show me I am interrupted. Like any bad behavior, any bad habits I've got, he would show me any insecurities. It would just start bubbling up to the surface, and I'd be like, why is my dirty laundry all out on show? I don't want him to see these things. I want us to be pretty picture. You know how you see it on Instagram, where everything's all made up and everything looks pristine. There's no cracks, there's nothing wrong. But I recognize that when you're dealing with insecurities, when you're dealing with this side of marriage and relationships, you have to be vulnerable. You have to allow that side of you to actually be opened up. And I think just with the topic insecurity versus suspicion, there's a thin line between, am I being suspicious? Or is this an insecurity that's making me feel this way?
Yeah.
And I think the main point of it is, are you suspecting someone of doing something because you have good reason to suspect them? Or is it an insecurity that's bringing this situation into a marred...
Yeah.
Like, it's throwing it off somewhat and making it feel like this isn't quite where... You're seeing it out of a dim glass. Basically, you're seeing it out of a tainted view.
Basically, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think it's like you rightly said, it's definitely a thin line between the two, and I think this is why we always talk about, like, kind of knowing yourself and being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah,
as I mean, sometimes it's easier said than done, of course. You know, because you can say that you're confident, you got it all together, but really you're just like, do you know what I mean? You're just really insecure about certain things. I mean, I know for me, like, growing up, do you know what I mean, like, just appearance and all of that kind of stuff was an issue. But I realized very quickly that it was to do with my own kind of self-belief.
Yes.
Because a lot of times is the way that you behave is based on how you think about yourself. And when you've been in a particular environment where either you haven't been praised enough, or you haven't been told, like, well done, and that, you know, you're good at this or you're good at that, do you know what I mean? You begin to think that you're rubbish because you're not hearing it. Do you get what I'm saying?
So true, so true.
And so for me, I quickly had to realize that, do you know what I mean? Like, God had to be that source. Yeah. I had to go to some source that was going to tell me exactly who I was. And I think that's when my personal, like, confidence started to come back. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think even within marriage, I think there's a level of confidence you need to have in yourself before you get married, because we always talk about, you know, that, you know, she's not my other half. Do you know what I mean? Even though we say it very flippantly in conversation, my other half and all that kind of stuff, but no, there's really a power about being whole. Yes. And Siobhan knows me, like, in terms of, like, my own time, I love my time. Like, being nobody alone. I never struggled with loneliness. I really didn't struggle with loneliness. I didn't feel like I needed to be with someone. I mean, obviously there was particular points in my life where I felt like, no, I need to, you know, hook up with someone, but I absolutely love my time. I'll go to the cinema by myself. You know what I'm saying? And
he was the first person I ever met that did that.
I will go to that cinema and crack up to myself. Elf, I would have a good time. Do you know what I mean? And I think things like that are so important because even in our relationship now, like I don't really feel like I need to, how can I explain it? Like I don't need Siobhan, if that makes sense, to have a good time or to be cool or to chill. Do you know what I mean? Like if she has to go, I'm not freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, when's she coming back?
Yeah.
I can sort myself out. I can find something to do. Do you know what I mean? And so I think all of these things are like almost fundamental to your own kind of security makeup.
Absolutely. That's good.
Because when you get married, you can't be always pulling and relying on the other person. There's definitely an element of it. Trust me, because there's times where I've been completely broken and, you know, Siobhan has had to pick me up. Do you know what I mean? And even that was a journey in and of itself as a man.
Absolutely.
Allowing myself. And I think, you know, in terms of men in general, that part of the relationship is very difficult to connect with.
Yeah.
Where you allow yourself to be completely vulnerable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think one of the films that kind of encapsulated it for me, should I say, was the film Troy. And it was with Brad Pitt, obviously. And he was like this. I've forgotten his name. That's shocking. I should know the name of his character in that film. No, Hector was the other. Achilles, there you go. Yeah. And I love that film. It was before 300 came. That was my film. Do you know what I mean? And one of the things I loved about that film was like there was this whole kind of depiction of this strong man. This man that was just, he was the best warrior in the land.
Yeah.
There was nobody that could touch him. Yeah. And anyone who tried to even come to touch him, like you could see his focus. It was like, no, I need to prove today that my name is legendary. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And there was so much testosterone on the screen. It was deep. I was like, jeez, this guy is, my gosh. Yeah. But then there was a scene where he falls in love with this woman. And there was this very, very intimate kind of scene where it's like, it's almost like he begins to divulge the weaker parts of himself. He started to show the softer side of himself. And I watched it and I was inspired because I was just like, you know what? This, you know, Hollywood and culture sometimes makes fun of this part and that we always have to be a particular way. Yeah. But there's such a power in vulnerability in marriage. And I think we'll probably speak about that at some point, being vulnerable in your marriage.
Absolutely.
And being vulnerable with your spouse because it's only in those vulnerabilities that you truly strengthen the relationship. Because if she doesn't see me at my worst, then how are we ever going to really have each other's back? Do you know what I mean? It's like trying to fight with somebody and you don't know where their weak points are. It's mad. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's strong at every area of their life. There's always going to be one side of your life that, do you know what I mean? It's going to drop off. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you need somebody, your life partner, your ride or die, you know, to really understand that. And I think it helps with the insecurities. Do you know what I mean? Because there are areas of our lives that we still need to protect. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's each other's responsibility to protect each other. Yes. Because absolutely. There's going to be areas where, you know, we're not so strong. And so we need that continual affirmation and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes we don't always get it right. Do you know what I mean? Because again, we are still getting to know each other. That's why dating and all that kind of stuff, even within marriage, is so important. Like this pandemic, this year, the things that I've learned about Siobhan, like certain times she said things and I feel like, what? Who are you? Like, I've known you for over 14 years. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? No, you never told me that story. Do you know what I mean? So it's a continual thing. And I think this is what we're trying to get into, like, young people's minds, that relationship, particularly marriage, it's a lifelong thing. You know, it's a forever thing. It is. So it's like, you know, we were having a conversation with some young couples a couple of, like, about a month or so ago. And I was just hearing some of the stuff that their
Yeah.
single friends were saying. And I was just like, what do you mean? You know, like people are saying that, you know, they want to marry men who are like established and have everything together. And, you know, they've gone through so much hardship that they don't want to now come back and have to build with someone. And I'm just like, excuse me? It almost feels like you just want to be married for like a couple of years and then get what you want and then just chip. This is forever.
It's true. It's so true.
You've got the rest of your lives and you're saying that, you know, entering it, you're saying you don't even want to build?
That's right. It's crazy. It is crazy, but I think it comes down to the mindset.
Mad.
I think it comes down to what it has been advertised to be. But just coming back to what you said about supporting each other and being there for each other, knowing who you are is so important. So one of the things that we started from the very beginning when we started going live was talking about purpose, talking about having a friendship, starting off and laying a strong foundation, and that's always there. But the foundation, before you even start with somebody else, there is a deeper foundation with it, which is within yourself.
Oh yeah.
Which is knowing yourself and being comfortable in your own skin, like Ulrich said. And I know for myself, I'll never forget when I was at university, I had to go through a season where I didn't allow someone to phone my phone at come 10 p.m.
Come on, somebody.
Like, actually allowing myself to say, I am okay not having somebody male on the line phoning me, talking to that side of me to stir me up and all of that stuff, but actually being comfortable to be at home on my own, doing what I'm doing, and not feel that I need to even pick up the phone and call one of my girls, because you find that you want now interaction. I remember just having to, like, God having to take me through that time of isolation, preparation, knowing myself comfortable in my own skin. I never forget when Ulrich told me he went to the cinema on his own. I was like,
you don't do that?
Sorry. I bet you'd be telling me you go out to eat on your own as well.
See, because the thing is, right? The issue with that cinema thing is I'm going there for what a cinema gives me, which is enjoyment. Because I love films.
Yeah.
So I don't need people to enjoy a good film.
Yeah.
But, it's as simple as that.
And I get it. And for me, it took me a long time to get to that point. And now, if I get a chance to go on my own, now it's more like that's a privilege. It's a treat. But I have gone on my own and I've loved it. I've enjoyed myself. I've laughed even louder than I would because I'm not bothered about who else is around. It is that process, and you're so right, Shai, about the importance of self-discovery.
100%.
And I think that, unfortunately, a lot of the time that step gets missed.
Yeah.
And then boy meets girl and girl meets boy, and those insecurity things are not quite all ironed out and dealt with. So then what happens is you get into relationships, you get into marriage, and then you're suspicious.
Yeah.
And you're suspicious because what you see is something that could be innocent. And I don't want to say it is that you're suspicious, but it can lead to a suspicious angle rather than a trusting angle. And then what happens is it kind of births an anxiety. So it's like, oh, he finishes work at 6 p.m. and it's 6:30. Where is he? Or
on the train.
Or she said that she was going to be here at 6 p.m. but it's after 6. Did she stop off and wait? Like, you know, when you start to have these little plantings, and it's the enemy. Categorically, the enemy does not like your marriage. He wants divorce to take place. We have to remember that there are forces that are trying to work against us.
100%.
And those forces are trying to work against us in our mind. The mind is the battleground. That's why we have to be so careful that we are continually praying for each other, continually praying for our spouse, continually working things out, because it just takes one seed, one question, one doubt. Because when we go back to the Garden of Eden and we look at it, the enemy, when he came in the form of a snake and he spoke to Eve, he didn't say, God's lying to you, blah, blah, blah. He said it as a question.
Yeah.
He inserted doubt by saying, did God say that? That questioning.
Are you sure? Questioning your ability to understand what was said.
And you know.
So crafty.
And it's so crafty. So now what happens is you're questioning your spouse. You're questioning, can I trust them? Or have they said what they're going to say? Or have they held back what they really wanted to say? Or any of those things. And I mean, one of the things for us is that we've continuously said that we want to make sure that we can be open and honest with each other. So I have his passwords. He has my passwords. But
I ain't got nothing to hide.
And we've got nothing to hide, but at the same time, I don't need to now go into his phone. I think the point of it is, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't feel that I need to go into Ulrich's phone to check who's been texting or who isn't texting and so on and so on, because he's already reaffirmed that area. But I would say, for the person who's feeling like, no, I need to check this person's phone, I would encourage, give the passcodes. Give them to your spouse. Give it to them. So they have that that affirmation, that confidence that there is nothing there. There is nothing to hide.
Or use it as an opportunity to clean your phone. No, it's true. I'm being completely real. Because when I was younger, do you know what I mean? Pornography was a problem.
Right.
It was a problem. And so there's certain situations that God has brought to me in terms of like just my relationship with Siobhan, getting married, all these different types of things, which it causes you to be like, you know what, but no, I need to step up my level of purity.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that, you know, that I can give my phone to my wife and her not flick through and be like, what is this? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I never did that kind of stuff anyway. I wasn't that stupid. But anyway, it was like, but it's like you have to safeguard yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think you also have to safeguard the other person as well, because you know, you mentioned about the affirming, and I could put my hands up, like there's pure times, you know what I mean, where like I haven't communicated to Siobhan. Do you understand? Whether it's been that I've just been busy, or I've left my phone, or my phone's died, or I've just had one of those days where I haven't touched my phone for a number of hours. And it's not because I'm doing anything, it's just because I'm busy doing whatever it is that I'm doing. And so all of those types of things, it's like these are kind of things that you learn obviously over time, but it's like it helps your own relationship and your own peace of mind, and you know, your spouse's peace of mind as well, because at the end of the day you have to keep that area, that space between the two of you locked. Do you understand? So that they understand, not because they are insecure per se, but because you're safeguarding. You know, you're protecting your investment.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be that it's an insecurity, but it's to show the person,
I value
look, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I got you.
Yeah.
It's only you.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? We're rolling together.
Yeah.
You are in my ear.
Yeah.
You're the person that speaks and I listen. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're the person that, you know, in the midst of a crowd of 1,000 people, when you say my name, I'm able to home in.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's like, and it's difficult, guys. Like I can't even sit here and say that it's been easy, because you know, we could share about our own personal experiences where we've had beef about particular people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I have learned is just remembering that it's a continual thing.
Yes.
And your eyes and your ears have got to be continually open.
Yeah.
To be watchful as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes as well, I'll put my hands up again. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even thinking about particular things. I'm just doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And then Siobhan will say, and then Siobhan will be like, we're like, but did you see? And did you see? And did you see when she? And did you see? And did you see? And you see what happened when she turned around? And for me, I'm just like, I'm just trying to eat a piece of chicken. I'm not looking at what that person's doing or whatever. I'm just like, you bitch.
No, there were things.
And,
there were things in the airwaves that
listen.
we pick up. And okay, come on, ladies, you all know. There are things that we pick
Talk to us,
up.
man. Talk to
okay?
us, talk to us,
there are
guys.
things that they do not see, and we pick
It's
it
true.
up, and we're like, oh,
It's true.
oh, is it now?
It's true.
And that's our job.
Yeah, and it's mad sometimes. It's like especially when Siobhan will drop something to me, it's like I'm sure that she's probably laughing inside at my face, because sometimes I'm sure if I could come out of my body and look at my own face, I'm probably like
this.
you know that meme where the guy's just got his eyes
Sweating.
open and he's sweating, like, oh my gosh, did that happen? Oh man, was she doing that?
Yes, 100%. The Holy Spirit said, it's true. It's true. I remember saying something to Ulrich, and Ulrich was like, huh? And I said, no, but check it. If this person was doing this and all the people there were married men, why do you think they were doing that? And it was like there was silence. There was
silence because in my head,
going,
I was just like, my head is not even in that space. Because when she dropped it, I was like, oh,
that's a
yeah,
point.
true.
That's
true,
a point,
True.
That's a point,
I'm just trying to go in and do my business and
and get out of it. But that's the point.
So sometimes for us it's hard.
Yeah, but that is
because we're not even there. Do you know what I mean?
You're not there for it, but that is our job, to be there, to see those things.
It's true.
To
I
see
stand
any
corrected,
people
man.
kind of doing those advancements.
100%.
But I think the beauty of it, and it's one of the things we communicated, is that when you notice that the person is feeling either the insecurity or they're feeling that they're suspicious about something, the way to deal with it isn't to make them feel like, you're just seeing things.
That's true.
I can't tell you.
I do that a lot. Because I'm just like,
I feel like that's the worst response. That can only like breed
yeah, it's true.
And what you need to hear is that, do you know what? There is no one else. Like that reaffirmation, that confirmation that it's nothing. I don't agree. That right there, you're just like.
See, I wish there was Mandem on the live, because I feel like I'm all by myself, man. Come on, guys.
It's fine. I'm sure you'll message us later.
And it's not like I'm saying that you're wrong, but I feel like we have feelings too, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's
do.
and it's very valid. And sometimes I think that, you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like it's unfair. Only sometimes. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's just like, poor all us. Do you know what I mean? We're not even... No, but I'm being for the genuine guys out there that are literally not even in that space trying to be doing that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it feels like, oh man, but... Obviously, you know that this is what you have to do, like to affirm. But it's like, but why does it have to be like that?
Because, and the reason is because it's the safeguarding, it's that reaffirming, it's the reassuring. It's like, okay, prime example... Ulrich and I used to have this beef about the front door. We live in a very safe area. It's lovely. There's no reason to question it. But we would get into beef because Ulrich won't double lock the door. And I'm just like...
We're on the top floor, guys.
Why are you not double locking the door?
Do you want me to count the amount of the layers that we have between here and outside?
It doesn't matter what floor we're on. It doesn't matter. We double lock. He's like, why do we need to? So we would get into some beefs about this thing. However, in my opinion, this is non-negotiable. Yeah. If we are in the house, we're going to sleep or we're going out or whatever, this door needs to be locked. That in the event that you get slack and someone tries to come in, you have things in place to safeguard because you value what it is you have. Now, in Ulrich's opinion, he's like, listen, it's safe already.
I've got my bat next to my bed.
Nobody else is coming into the house. We're in a safe area. Ain't nothing happening. Relax. Me? I don't play those games, you know. I don't play those games. Maybe it's because I was brought up in East London, where anything can happen at any point in time.
I grew up in East London. Thank you very much.
Exactly my point. So when you've come from those areas, you safeguard. However, this can easily be applied to relationships.
Very
when you
true.
look at it and you've come from a previous relationship where you've been hurt, where you've experienced betrayal or insecurity or doubt and questioning and things like that, they now spring up in your current relationship to make you do certain things.
It's true.
And
it's true.
It's not that it needs to be applied to that person. That person isn't unfaithful. That person is honest. That person is integral. But yet, because of previous experiences, you now want a certain level of, did you message me when you got here? Or who was that just called you? And it's like,
it's mad. It's no way
why
to
do
live,
we
man.
need to go there like that? Why is that anxiety level so high? And the point of it is, some things weren't quite ironed out. Maybe when
at the outset.
Yeah, when you were in your singleness, or when you were going through, because at the end of the day, this person who is beside you isn't God.
Right.
And it's not their job to actually continue to
appease to every need that you have.
Exactly. That is actually the time that you spend with God.
Because if you need the person, then you've got to ask some serious questions.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. If you need the person,
absolutely,
then you have to ask yourself some serious questions, because nobody should be getting married because you need the person.
Yeah.
You get married to the person because of purpose.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because the coming together is unified. You're both bringing something to the table. Do you know what I mean? It's not one person bringing everything and just saying, "Yo, yeah, I needed." Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there's an element of needing the person. Yes, but I'm talking about the kind of needing the person where it's like you are completely and totally reliant on the person for your every need.
We can't be there.
That can't work.
And it's draining.
It's not
a two-way relationship. Resentment can build as well, but also you get into the stage that you're continually being the pourer and the person's continually being the receiver.
Exactly.
And I'll never forget, early in our relationship, maybe into the first year, we had a fallout. We had a disagreement about something. I don't remember what the topic was, but it was like, well, you make me the parent and you make me the child.
Jeez, that was our first.
My God in heaven.
Yeah, those words, we used them for a couple of years.
A good little while. Well, you're making me the parent and you're acting like you're the child. No, I'm not the child. You just... And I tell you what...
Fire!
A whole heap of fire was just coming out there. But the point of it is, in a relationship, you want to be two adults. You don't want to be a parent and a child. In fact, the moment you start taking on those roles, there's a problem.
Yes.
There is a problem. Because the parent is always going to feel like, I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be good cop, bad cop. I don't want to be the one who now has to be the unfun one.
Yeah.
And you want to be the fun, throw caution to the wind. I don't want to be the one who's always the grumpy one. I want to be supported in a relationship where we're both on the same page. And I think more so than anything else, it's about being reminded that relationships, yes, they're subjective. Everybody has their own different relationship, but there are different current themes that just run through them.
Yes.
And when you spot them, it's about what you're going to do to rectify situations so that you don't end up going down the route of divorce if you are married. And one of the things that Ulrich and I will always support is accountability.
100%.
If you feel at any point in time in your relationship, in your marriage, what you have built together is crumbling, rather than waiting until it's crumbled and the walls are broken down and there's nothing left, seek counsel, seek accountability, seek people to actually give you the support. Because there's nothing worse than building something so powerful and then having it just fall down
Sure.
And actually, you could have sat down with people, you could have sat down with pastors, or and it doesn't have to necessarily be a pastor. It can just be somebody who has a few more years in
somebody who's just got that kind of wisdom, really, to kind of support you in that area. Because I remember for us, we didn't really have many people to go to. But the people who we did go to, do you know what I mean? They were fantastic. Do you know what I mean? For where we were at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we needed to see a couple like working that wasn't necessarily within particular parameters that we had seen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was great. Do you know what I mean? We had an incredible time with them and all that kind of stuff, and we learned so much about ourselves.
Yeah,
because we had loads of discrepancies during those times, like things that we were working through that we didn't really understand about each other, that just annoyed the both of us. So you always need that, guys. No relationship is an island.
You do.
Yes,
really do.
there's a privateness, so to speak, to your relationship, which obviously is between you and your spouse. But you know what I mean, there's also room for that kind of connecting with other couples and just hearing what people have to say about particular issues.
Definitely.
Because sometimes you might feel like you're suffering in silence when actually loads of people are going through what you're going through too.
Yeah.
So.
And I think just before we start rounding up, don't be afraid to reach out for accountability, for counselling, for people to sit down with. I know that some of the people who we attempted to sit down with, they weren't quite right for us. We had known them for a long time. We were accountable to them for other things, but to come under them for our marriage, they weren't quite right. But we had to go through that process, and sometimes I think that people just feel like, I tried someone and it didn't work. Okay, that couple or that person wasn't right for you at that stage, but it doesn't mean that that's it. Accountability doesn't work for you at all.
It's true.
You've got to go again, you've got to try again, you've got to reach out to more people, you've got to try to build that thing, because honestly that is one area that you will continually see God bless you, because the Bible says that in the counsel of many there is safety.
That's right.
And that safety is what you want in your marriage. You want that assurance, you want that strength, you want that connection to remain, that sanctity to be intact, really. So but guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes.
The few of you that have kind of been with us, seriously appreciate you guys. Make sure to kind of subscribe to our channel, click the bell icon if you haven't done so already, so you get a notification the next time we go live. Thank you to everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, and here on Instagram as well. Again, we really appreciate you. So we're obviously like 10 days away from Christmas, so we have something special
for next week Tuesday. So next week Tuesday we're not going to be on Two Love Collective, we're going to be over on the Cokers, and we are going to be doing a lovely Christmas carol special. We've got a couple of guests singers that will be joining us, so you do not want to miss out, guys. Make sure you tune in.
100.
Next week Tuesday 9 p.m. you'll see a flyer soon about it, but in the meantime go over to our YouTube, catch up. I see the dancing already. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic, trust me, guys. You don't want to miss it.
100%. Guys, thank you again. We really appreciate you, man. Like we can't keep saying it enough. Trust me, because we understand like this season has been absolutely crazy for so many. And as we're coming to the end of the year, you know, we're just praying for people's hearts and praying for people's minds as well. Do you know what I mean? And we're just praying against suicide and just, you know, stuff like that, because this season breeds that, especially with, you know, this pandemic and being in isolation and the fact that some of us have already gone into tier 3 and just all of the stuff that people are dealing with. We're just really appreciative that, you know, you guys take your time out to kind of be with us, because like we always say, you could have been watching Prime, you could have been watching Netflix, could have been watching Disney, but you decided to spend your time with us, and we really appreciate it, guys. Seriously. God bless you guys, and we will see you next week. Take care. God bless. Bye.